At last, a cat that loved water, even willing to do a water ballet with Esther Williams. Miracles never cease in the movies. This one was directed and choreographed by Charles Walters, the man we're tipping our hats to every Friday this month on TCM. And with me to talk about Chuck Walters is an expert on his career, his biographer, Brent Phillips. Nice to have you here, Brent.
Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you something. It's very interesting, Chuck Walters' career, which was a long one in films. Entered films in '43, I think made his last film in '66, something
Correct.
like that.
Yes.
And at all the films he made were for MGM except the last one.
Yes.
Which he did at Columbia Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Was he being offered other things at other studios and by his own choice stayed at MGM, or how did that work?
He loved being at MGM. He had wanted to work at MGM ever since he was a boy, because it was the greatest studio in the world. And I don't even think that he recognized in the 1950s how much MGM was sort of changing.
Right.
So I don't think he wanted to, he wasn't really being offered other films to do at other studios, and he was still under long-term contracts at MGM, and I think was very happy to stay there. He was, though, offered at this time the chance to go back to Broadway to do to direct a show called By the Beautiful Sea with Shirley Booth. And so shortly after Dangerous When Wet, he went back to New York, and the show out on the road, he wasn't happy with the way it was going, and so he left that. But certainly there were offers coming in from other venues, especially after the Best Director Academy Award nomination came about, because then everybody was looking at him. Exactly.
Yes.
Lily.
So was he ambitious, you think, as a person?
I think he was ambitious when he was given a project. In other words, if he found a project that he wanted to work on at MGM, he was very driven to do these projects and to add as much as he can. In almost every film, there's so much Charles Walters in there. As far as out there trying to further his career and stuff, he was happy working at MGM. I really think that he was.
Interesting. Well, let's move on. Don't Go Away. Coming up is one of the films in which you can actually see director and choreographer Charles Walters, movie in which he plays a director and a choreographer. It's also a movie from 1953, and it stars Joan Crawford.
Tonight on TCM's Friday Night Spotlight, Joan Crawford's a Broadway diva who finds love in torch song. Then Red Skelton tries his luck on the Midway at the Texas Carnival. And Judy Garland makes Mickey Rooney girl crazy.
Presented